Rob, let me show you what's going on right now. You still have firefighters on the roof of that arena. I'm told that they do have the fire under control. It's quiet out here. All the action is taking place inside the building where they're trying to locate this alleged bomb. Well, Chris, as you're about to see, there are very few people left here. Large crowds gathered here earlier today. Now they're dwindling down a bit, taking pictures of where the statue once stood. Whew, Annie, it is certainly hot out here today. Oh, thank you, Moment. This is how I keep cool. Annie, court documents I obtained today reveal that the victim's accused killer, her boyfriend, Ross Crawford, may have been writing his emotions down on paper the entire time she was lying there dead. In Littlestown, Adams County, something big is happening. People like Dr. Eric Bonsall at Hoffman Homes for Youth are helping dozens of children who've been sexually abused by other children. Pennsylvania state records don't break down sex abuse by age. However, Justice Department data shows that more than 1/3 of the sexual abuse of America's children is committed by other minors. Dr. Bonsall says 80% of all juvenile boys and girls have at one time been victims of sex abuse. Then there's a biological and psychological explanation.
Yeah, in an effort to master the abuse or to control the abuse, because when it happened to them, it was an uncontrolled thing that happened to them. By abusing someone, it's almost their effort to rework it, rework the abuse and master the abuse. And at least I'm in control now of that abusive situation that's occurring.
Dr. Bonsall says the younger the child victim, the more likely it is that the perpetrator is a child. Juveniles are the offenders in 43% of assaults on children under age 6. 14% of these offenders are under age 12.
Appreciate the help. Thank you. Bye-bye.
In Dauphin County, Chief Deputy District Attorney Sean McCormack also has plenty of files on these cases.
I was just reviewing a case just before you came in here, which was a juvenile accused of molesting other juveniles, and there is a lot of those cases.
Experts say they don't think that child-to-child sex abuse is increasing. They say it's been significantly underreported. Until now, they say more people are coming forward, especially after a jury convicted Jerry Sandusky of child sex abuse. If these kids don't get the help early, it's highly likely they'll go on to abuse more children and start racking up a long criminal history at a very young age. Starting this December, a new Pennsylvania law will require children 14 years or older who've been convicted of certain sex crimes to register with the state police as sex offenders for the rest of their lives. But they won't be listed on the Megan's Law website unless that child is considered a sexually violent predator. Heidi Getzy's history working with these kids started more than a decade ago when she worked for the FBI. She says education is a big tool that's lacking in schools today.
I think that when we begin to educate children at a very young age that no means no to touches that they don't want, that holds true, from infancy on, that we learn better, we retain better.
This is a follow-up to a special report you saw here last night on CBS 21 News Live at 11, children abusing other children. It's happening more than you might think. CBS 21's Ewa Roman is live at the Lancaster County Mobile Newsroom in East Hempfield Township with this CBS 21 News exclusive. Eva?
Rob, this foster mother's story is so horrific that even Dr. Phil wanted to talk to her about it. Back in 2004, she adopted these kids, and back then she had no idea what would unfold. Rochelle is a foster mother in Lancaster County. She's raised many kids, even adopted some. The story of 2 of them is so terrifying that she's not only sharing it with CBS 21 News, but she's also shared it on the show Dr. Phil.
Michael was raped repeatedly. He was forced to perform sexual acts on his 2-year-old sister. He was, I know that he has disclosed to us that if he didn't comply, he got hit with a yardstick, but if he complied, he got candy.
Michael was in shock. He was just an empty shell.
Rochelle says her adopted son, we're calling him Michael, and his sister were sexually abused as children by their biological mother's boyfriend, who also took video of it and sold it online. He was caught and put behind bars. Michael and his sister were taken in by Rochelle and her husband. They put the brother-sister in therapy and did everything they could to help the siblings recover, but it appeared as though Michael Only 10 years old at the time, once a victim, became the offender.
As he started approaching puberty, we saw some changes in him, and we saw him starting to isolate his sister. He started isolating younger children that were around him.
Michael later confessed to sexually abusing other children as well as his sister.
A lot of tearful nights, a lot of tearful nights.
Things got a lot darker for Rochelle one night when she thought she was having a nightmare.
I remember that I burst out and I screamed, and it must have woke my husband up, who saw my son climbing off the bed.
She quickly realized she wasn't dreaming. Her adopted son, Michael, had just sexually abused her.
I'd had this nightmare of a sexual nature and just could not believe that this have really been happening.
Michael eventually admitted to the sex assault on his foster mom. That was about 4 years ago. At age 14, Michael now has a felony on his record. He isn't allowed home. Instead, he's recovering at a facility in Redding. His sister's recovery appears to be going well.
Watch what your children are doing. Look for signs of changes. If your gut tells you something doesn't feel right, something isn't right.
Rochelle is speaking about this now in order to raise awareness to the issue. If you see that a child is being sexually abused, report it. Experts say that if we help these children now when they're young, they have a better chance at recovery later. Live with Lancaster County Mobile Newsroom tonight in East Hempfield Township, Ewa Roman, CBS 21 News.
Oh my God, that feels so good.
On a scalding hot day at Metro Bank Park, Mitch's team has two opponents today. The other team and Mother Nature.
You drink a lot of Powerade. You just sort of have to deal with it because it's not going to go away, and the worst part about it is it's humid.
Sunscreen may not cool you down, but it'll certainly help protect your skin. And you can always bring some shade along with you by having an umbrella around. It's so hot that it's actually cooling down business for the ice cream stand at the Water Golf Park on City Island.
I can't believe it. It's hurting business pretty bad. People aren't just coming around.
Maybe we can convince this family to buy some ice cream. They actually don't mind the heat wave at all.
I think it's great, actually. I like the hot weather. Once you are out in a long time, you become acclimated, and it's all good.
We have a pool in my backyard, so we're always out swimming, and today we're gonna go kayaking, so that'll be fun.